just have this gravel pad here, we would come in. First thing that we would do is they've got an auger machine that comes in, and he will auger out a 24-inch hole that's about 60 feet deep. And we will put 20-inch pipe in that hole.
Now he'll hit groundwater there for the arrow.
Yeah, there's a good chance he may hit groundwater.
Okay. Yeah.
But he'll go ahead and he'll auger that down, and then we'll install that piece of 20-inch casing in there.
Okay.
And it'll stick up just about ground level. And then what they do is they'll bring a cement truck in, and they'll have grout, which is basically cement and pea gravel. And they will grout that in. That's our first line of defense. Is they'll basically just pour it in around the outside, between the outside of the hole, or the outside of the pipe and the inside of the hole. They just pour it in there until it fills clear up to the surface, to the top of the hole. Next thing we'll do is we'll bring a backhoe in, or track hoe, and they'll dig out and install this, what they call the cellar, okay, which is this piece of corrugated pipe here. Next is, don't quote me on these sizes, they're going to be closed, but it's roughly 13-inch pipe. We drill down to 350 feet, and we'll drill a little bit extra. Maybe if we're called to drill 350, we'll probably drill about 375. We'll put that pipe in the hole, and it'll be hanging in the hole. And what they'll do is they'll come up, you'll have your drilling rig here, floor. The cement that they bring in for that is just cement and water. There's no sand, gravel, nothing like that. But they'll actually pump that cement down the center of that pipe. And what happens is the pressure flows on the bottom of that pipe like a trap door. Let that cement go through the bottom. It goes through the bottom and it's clear up around the outside. Of course, first they will pump some water. Gel and stuff that cleans everything up. Just sure there's no mud, there's any cavings that's in there, anything that might be touching the pipe gets pushed out of the way. The next thing is that cement comes up and it'll get pumped clear to the surface also.
So now the 13-inch is actually a 13-inch drill bit as opposed to an auger.
Yeah, it's actually a drill bit. Yeah, it'll probably be like a 16-inch bit. They'll cut that with it, put a 13-inch pipe inside of it, 12 to 38, something like that.
And the 375 is to make sure you're through the aquifer?
Yes, that'll get us through all the fresh water zones.
Okay.
Once that's in place, and then it is left, state requirements require us at least 8 hours that they're shut in, leave them alone. That's one thing that we are really particular about anymore. I hate to say it, but and that's how a lot of companies got a bad name. How they had a lot of problems over in Pennsylvania initially starting this is they didn't wait. If they didn't wait the 8 hours, so I have seen it, I have heard of it. I don't allow it. Most operators don't. As soon as cement trucks leave location, the inspectors leave also. They would start down the hole. Of course, if you got wet cement and it's starting to dry and you're beating it around, you get cracks in it. We make them leave it alone for 8 hours before they ever start in the hole anything. We go in the hole then again, and they'll probably use like a 12.5-inch bit, and we'll go down to 1,800 feet, roughly, whatever our permit calls for. 1,800 feet, the same deal. We'll run like 9 5/8, 8 5/8 pipe down to 1,800 feet. It's cemented the same way, completely back to surface.
And that's water or aquifer again? Right?
Yeah, pretty much it's another barrier, and it gets us through some of the. We also have some zones in there that are what they call red rock. They're freshwater sensitive. They have a tendency to fall in if you get fresh water on them. So this second string of pipe kind of protects us from having all these problems with this stuff falling in as we're drilling. So now we're down to 1,800 feet. We're through all the fresh water zones. If we get any water, it's going to be salt water, which isn't going to hurt the formations. And from there, we're drilling on down to the point that we're kicking out and drilling out horizontally.
How far down
we would have, I'm saying this well, I believe, is about 5,500 feet deep, but we would have drilled to about 5,000 feet and started kicking off. 5,000.
No, but I mean
500 foot, yeah, 300 to 500 foot to
that
make.
much of an
Yeah, to make that bed.
almost not a 90, but
It's a pretty good, you know, we're getting a pretty good angle on it. And once, and this is technology again that wasn't around, you know, it wasn't around around here until 4 or 5 years ago. They was using it in Texas maybe 10 years ago. But I mean, this is fairly new technology here.
you will allow that.
And once that's completely ran, drilled, we do our logging and all that, get all of our electrical information, and we run all of our logs. We're running 5.5-inch pipe casing inside of that, which goes clear to the end of the pipe. Again, that string of pipe is cemented all the way back to the surface.
Okay, so you got the.
Three layers now.
Yeah.
How many yards of concrete is that?
I'm not really sure. We do our concrete like 100 sacks.
What?
We do it in sacks, 100-pound sacks. Some of these jobs like that 5.5, I mean, you know, they're 300 sacks, 3,000 pounds, you know. They get to be large jobs.
Yeah.
So you got the 8-inch that goes all the way to the end.
There'll be an 8, yeah, like an, well,
And then you put the 5.5.
no, the 8 inch is just is straight. 8 5/8 is vertical, down 1,800 feet, and then we'll drill inside of that with probably a 6.5 or 7-inch bit. That'll go all the way to the end. And those bit sizes can vary on the conditions and what what you're actually running in the hole, what's available.
Now, how long did it take you from the point where you started offering so you got it down there? How long?
This well took a little bit longer because what we did for this being a test well is the Marcellus zone is actually, you can have a couple 100 foot of shale that's considered the Marcellus.
Couple hundred vertical.
Yes. So, and there's spots in it that are better than other spots.
Okay.
So what we did initially with this well is we drilled completely through the Marcellus vertically and went a couple 100 feet below it, and then we did our electronic logging so we could find out where, whenever we come back and drilled our horizontal, the area that we wanted to stay in. The sweet spot, as they say, where it's the most porous and where the best chance of getting the most production out of. And they have the technology now to where it's I don't know, they probably showed you some logs and stuff with the gamma ray. They've got the technology now to where they can be running gamma ray 20 feet behind that bit. As they're drilling out through there, they can stay, I mean, they stay within inches of where they want to be, where it needs to be. And all the time that they're drilling this, they're running surveys and making sure that it's at the right depth, left, right, that it's right on line.
Okay, so you're pumping mud down to the drill bit. It's coming all the way back.
Right. Yeah.
You got to get rid of some of that at the end, or all of it, or what happens there?
It depends. Like this well, we drilled with an oil-based mud,
Okay.
which is rather expensive. We actually brought this mud from another well that was being drilled in West Virginia. And what happens is they've got a system set up where you come out of your drill floor into a trough and a blow tube, and it goes into what they call a set of shale shakers, which sits there and it shakes those cuttings, and it makes that mud fall off, and then those cuttings go into a tub, and then that tub we will solidify that stuff. And that's basically, sometimes there's a centrifuge issue in there where they'll put it in to get more of the oil-based mud off of the cuttings. We try to get them as dry as possible. The end result is all those cuttings are mixed with sometimes it's sawdust, fly ash. They make a lot of different chemicals to mix it with. They have to be approved with the landfill that you're